So, I'm kind of new here, but I've noticed a trend. My human does this funny thing where she goes around and gets all my toys, and then she hides them in that basket by the door. But it's always the same basket, and it's always in the same place. And then she acts so surprised when I find them, but, she's putting them in the same basket. Again. It's like, hello, that's where you put it last time. You were the worst at hide and go seek.
Welcome back to It's Your Money. We're here with our special guest, Dr. Chianese, and he's a personal friend as well. So we're here talking about the field of dentistry, what it takes to get in, how much money does it take to set up a practice. But I've got a question for Chet, if I could. I just want to know, like, when you're opening up a practice, what are really, like, the most important priorities? Because location, of course that means something. We have staffing, billing, insurance, things of this sort. What really becomes, let's say, the top three things?
Top three things. I had so many advantages.
Sure you
did. My dad being who he was in the community, he was chief of staff at Community Medical Center. I had a lot of relationships. My parents, my wife's parents owned a restaurant in town. There was a lot of notoriety there. So I had a lot of help starting my practice and getting patients in there.
So the name was out there.
The name was out there.
Yeah.
Location for sure.
Okay.
You don't want to be out in the boondocks, but.
So, did you do a lot of marketing when you opened your practice, or you really didn't have to do that?
I
because
didn't have to do as much as possibly someone else did. It was a lot of word of mouth from both sides of my family and friends.
Yeah, because I see a lot of dental advertising in church circulars, things like that. I don't really see it for other groups, so other physician groups. So.
I really did not in my whole career, and I opened my office. Probably 40 years ago.
Because marketing,
I really have not done much, if any, advertising.
Well, I can see why. You're so nice, and I'm not afraid of you.
Referrals become the lifeblood of business.
Best advertisement is referrals.
But aside from the location, what else did you have to really concentrate on for yourself?
Your staff is so important.
Vital, right?
Vital. Not long ago, I counted in the. Well, you don't have a phone book any longer, but at one point I did count, and there were 125 or 130 dental offices in the Toms River area.
Oh, wow.
Right.
I have one right across the street from my office, and I could walk to probably 4 or 5 others.
Right.
So you really need to give patients a reason to come to you and not to the guy across the street or anyone else.
When I had moved my firm to the Toms River area, I had asked somebody for a referral for a dentist, and that's how I became a patient of yours. And your staff, Anthony and Amanda and Liz, and look, I know them because they're all so nice.
Yeah,
it means so much. Your staff,
it means so much when you've been there as long as I've been there. And I have many patients that I've had for almost 40 years, and when they call, Amanda still answers the phone.
Oh, very nice.
And Liz still assists me.
Well, that's really...
that continuity says a lot about our whole workings together.
I mean, that's really important to patients. I know it's important to me, and certainly to Martin.
Yeah, sure.
Can you speak a little bit about, regarding the practice, about having the best technology, insurance, malpractice insurance, those types of costs that new dentists should consider if they were to get into their own practice?
Again, starting and working for someone else is going to help a lot, because when you first open up, you're not guaranteed they're going to come knocking your door down. Unfortunately, a lot of patients are insurance driven, and unless it's covered by the insurance and it doesn't hurt them, they're not really going to do a lot of work.
So for malpractice insurance for a dentist, what does that normally, what's the range, or like how is that?
For a general dentist, I mean, it's maybe, I don't know, under $5,000.
A year?
possibly for the year.
Okay.
You know, it's not a terrible
No.
number.
It actually seems very affordable. I guess it's not like being a heart surgeon, you know.
No, I mean, if you were, you know, certainly a different kind of dentist, if you were an oral surgeon,
Okay.
where you do a lot more invasive procedures,
It would be more.
it's much more costly.
And probably if you have to anesthetize a patient,
Likewise.
that's going to be a greater risk.
That's going to increase your liability. I don't do that in my office. Yeah.
Joanne brought up the point about technology, and what about that? You know, because there's always changes and always new ways of doing things.
I mean, there are, you know, there's basic when you first open that office. When I first opened my office, we didn't have computers in the office. Imagine that.
My gosh, yeah.
But even X-rays, they've
X-rays.
changed a lot.
And, you know,
how
we did
you get
conventional X-rays that you put that, you know, horrible,
painful
thing in your mouth.
Yes,
and
I
we
know
got,
that.
you know, we had to put them in the processor, and it took 6 minutes to come out. And if the X-ray wasn't good, you had to redo it and wait another 6 minutes. And they went on that little view box.
Yeah.
We don't do that anymore. They're all
Yeah.
digital. It's You know,
amazing.
it's a
Joanne was just getting
It's amazing.
nightmares because she remembers those
It's a
days.
split of a second that the picture
I
is
know.
taken. It goes instantly on the screen. I can see it. If it's not right, we can redo it. It's minimal
It is
radiation to the
amazing.
patient.
Yeah, I mean, coincidentally, I was at the
You're not
dentist
sweating
this
while you're
morning
next
at
to me,
8
are you?
o'clock.
She's working
No.
up a
Had to get my night guard fitted.
The only thing I don't like is that high-powered
That
water
sound,
spray,
that
the
sound.
spraying and all that. Oh, my
So-
Lord. But you know what? His hygienist really is a class act.
Yeah.
He's very thorough, very good. So I
And
just
you
don't,
have to go.
you know,
You need
you have to
go to your dentist.
Yes.
And hopefully it's a nice guy
Go.
like Chet.
Yes.
So,
you do need to go.
Yeah, it's really, really important. And as you get older, too, it becomes even more important.
it is.
And my dentist even talks about, like, you know, the bacteria in your mouth can really affect your gut. And that there's all that talk on about that.
It does. Because
So,
hopefully we're going to talk
right.
briefly about COVID, which I know everybody
Yes,
talks about.
yes.
And unfortunately, that has kept so many people away.
Still.
So let's
Still.
talk about
Yeah,
that. Go ahead.
definitely.
Yeah. Well, as we know, COVID came, and we're in the better part of our second year.
Right, so how did
With
it
COVID?
affect your practice in the beginning? You had to, like, shut down
We had
in New
a-
Jersey, unless it was an emergency?
We shut down, I think, on St. Patrick's Day of 2020. They did let us open back up again on June the 1st. You were allowed to work if you had an emergency, a dental emergency.
Right.
But for conventional treatment and patients, we weren't allowed to work. So
Let-
we were closed for almost 3 months.
All right, this is also a question, vaccination status.
Mm-hmm.
Do all dentists have to be vaccinated, or if they had COVID, what is
Great
the
question.
general?
Great question. I am, and there's a lot of controversy about that, I am a strong supporter of vaccinations.
Right.
I think everyone should be. I understand everyone doesn't want to be. In my office, everyone is vaccinated.
But it seems like most healthcare professionals have to get vaccinated for employment. So however, if you are a dentist that had COVID, and is it mandatory that you get
I
vaccinated?
actually don't think it is, to be honest.
Yeah, so.
Yeah.
So you had 3 months off with
We had
COVID.
it was like practicing for retirement. Yes. Yes.
I bet you it was nice. I mean,
It was good because I got to spend more time with my grandchildren
Yeah.
at that age than I ever would have.
We were all.
You know, dentists like yourself, I mean, you probably also were able to take advantage of the Payroll Protection Plan.
Thank
right?
God for the
The
Payroll
PP,
Protection Program. And there was a
Yeah.
first round and there was a second round.
Right.
Yeah.
And yes, that if that wasn't available, I don't know what would have happened.
Yeah,
really,
because look, you have to pay people salaries, or else they're going to might go somewhere else, and they had to
Sure.
pay bills too.
Sure,
you know,
sure.
So
And then once that money was released and you got that money, the point of that money was to get your staff off of unemployment and start paying them.
Right.
My staff wasn't on unemployment for very long.
I
And that
see.
money came, and even when I wasn't working, that money was there to pay them. And
very important.
and
Yeah.
they got paid.
Yeah,
So
that's
can I
good.
ask you this, Chet? What are you seeing in the industry, like some of the new trends? Like, I know you're always studying stuff. I'll have breakfast with Chet, and he's watching some technique on drilling and stuff like that. We'll talk. Obviously, we talk, and I'm kidding. But, I mean, he's always trying to stay state of the art and products and things. What are you seeing?
Martin, look at this. I show Martin pictures on my
Yeah,
phone.
this is thrilling. I'm trying to have my scrambled eggs in the morning, and he's showing me pictures of people getting drilled.
He's intense.
He is. So what new
Passionate.
trends are you seeing out there?
when I say new trends, there's all the usual things. There's crowns, there's bridges, there's fillings, white-colored fillings, tooth-colored fillings,
Right.
as opposed to amalgams, the silver
Right.
fillings.
Right.
And that's been around for a
How
while.
about gold fillings in the old days? See
I tell
people.
you, gold is not very popular. Gold is still the
It's popular
best.
with Joanne. She wears gold all the time.
Gold is still
Not
the
in
best
my mouth.
restoration.
No, not in her mouth.
The best restoration you can put in your mouth is gold, and it lasts. Nothing lasts forever. It lasts almost forever.
Wow.
Gold. No one wants it. It's not aesthetic.
No,
Everybody
no.
wants white.
Right.
Yeah.
Everyone wants
The
white.
whiter, the better.
The whiter the better.
Yeah.
Implants. Implants are probably the newest, and they're not new, but really the most good thing, the best thing that we have to offer patients. It gives them a lot more options for replacement of teeth. They can be used in so many ways. Unfortunately, they're very pricey, depending upon how you utilize them, and some people are just excluded from being able to afford them.
Would that be considered non-elective because they don't have to have it, but they might be doing it for cosmetic reasons?
Well, they can be doing it for cosmetics, but again, a lot of people are insurance-driven, and insurance companies most often will agree to compensate the patient for the least costly thing out of their pocket. And an implant certainly isn't the least costly thing to replace a tooth you're missing.
Well, you know what, Joanne? It's that
Well,
time.
I know. We've got to say goodbye. And
You
I
know,
sat close to
the
a
next time
dentist.
Chet comes, we're going to have him bring some of his dental tools and implements for
Bring
you.
to show and tell. I can bring some props.
Props.
But it was a pleasure to have you,
Thank you
Chet.
so much for having me.
I mean,
It's
let's
great
tell our
having you.
audience if they want to call you, ask you a question, or come see you.
Absolutely. We're on
Or-
Washington Street in Toms River, right downtown by the courthouse.
Very
Why don't you
good.
give your phone number, too?
Sure, it's 732-349-4040, and Amanda usually answers the phone.
Oh, good. And I'm
Thank you.
Joanne Morgano, and I could be reached at 856-797-0200, extension 128.
And I'm Martin Salzman, and I have an appointment with Chet on Friday, 8 a.m. So if anybody would like to take my appointment, you're more than welcome to.
No,
my number 732-905-8100. And once again, I just want to thank you on behalf of Joanne and I to be with us on our It's Your Money show. This is about our 36th show. We just love
Yeah.
having you. Hope to see you next time.
All right. Thank you.
Thanks
We'll see you
again,
soon.
Chet. Great
You're
job.
welcome. Thank you for
Thank
having
you,
me.
Chet.